What's going on, guys? Jolt here from the Token Minorities, and I am bringing you the Week 3 upload of the NPL this week against the Phoenix Sunkern, coached by my friend Cheeseboy628. Now, if you did not see the team building video that I created for this match at this point, please do check that out. It will be in the description below. In addition, in the description below will be a link to the official NPL YouTube channel. I highly recommend that you go check that out, as well as we do post some pretty cool content there, including power rankings and the weekly recap and some top plays videos and stuff like that. So definitely go check that out if you're interested. So now we are here with the battle. Just as a brief review, I should say, of my team, I am bringing a Specs Tornadus I, a sub Nasty Plot Porygon Z, a weakness policy Swords Dance Terrakion, an unaware Shed Shell Clefable, a defensive lure Skarmory with the Shed Shell, and then a Dark Resist Berry, Colbert Berry, Reuniclus with Calm Mind and Hidden Power Fighting and Shadow Ball. So that's the team. As I mentioned in the team building process, I don't feel super confident about this matchup going into it, but I know that I have the potential to win this game, just due to battling ability and due to the fact that my team is inherently pretty strong. The only problem is that my opponent's team is also quite strong, and my opponent is also a very good battler. So it's going to be a heck of a game. Let's go ahead and jump into the team preview. Looking at what he brought, he actually brought the two Mons that I thought he would not bring this game. I thought he had really no reason to bring them, those being Togekiss and Porygon 2. And the fact that he brought those two Mons means that my Tornadus I is not going to be nearly as effective as what I was hoping it would be in this matchup. However, it does still mean that Tornadus I can be a win condition if I can weaken the Porygon 2 and if I can weaken the Togekiss, as Specs Hurricanes are nothing to laugh at. Even if this is a special defensive, or I believe a physically defensive Porygon 2, it's still an easy 3-8 KO with a Specs Hurricane, and after rocks and a little prior damage, it should be a 2-hit KO, and who knows, I could get the assistance of some confusion hacks in the process, and that also goes for Togekiss. With rocks up, I would be able to 2-hit KO with ease, even if it's special defensive. Unfortunately, I'm not carrying rocks this game, but regardless, a little prior damage should allow me to 2-hit KO that, in addition to the fact that Serene Grace will increase the opportunity of getting some confusion hacks, so that's kind of nice as well. He also brought Gothitelle, Mega Medicham, Manaphy, and Bisharp, all of which were Mons I did expect him to bring, although I'm obviously sad to see them, as they are huge threats to my team, and I'm going to have to play this game very, very carefully. So as for the lead matchup, going into the game, I was thinking that my best lead would probably be the Tornadus I, as really it has a good matchup against almost his entire team. That is, of course, with the exception of Porygon 2 and Togekiss. So with that in mind, I no longer feel like I have a good lead in this game, which is pretty unfortunate. I do decide to go ahead and lead with my Skarmory here, as I thought there was a chance that he would try to lead with either Mega Medicham or with Bisharp and just want to get off a big chunk of damage against the Skarmory, and maybe I could get him with a surprise counter on turn 1. So that's kind of the thought going into it, and let's go ahead and jump into the battle. He decides to lead off with his Gothitelle, actually, which is pretty bad, because that was something I did not expect him to lead with. So now I'm going to go into really my only safe switch in, and that is my my Terrakion, as he did not bring Gligar, which means that my weakness policy set is kind of useless. So I thought I'd just take this as an opportunity to get some solid damage off on the Gothitelle with the Stone Edge and just kind of lose my Terrakion here. So I'm down to an early 6-5 deficit, and here I go for the Calm Mind, and he goes straight into his Togekiss, which was something I really did not want to see. This tells me this is probably going to be the annoying set, the AIDS set, which is Thunder Wave, Air Slash, the Paraflinch set that will be really the demise of this Reuniclus, as I cannot set up against it because I'm going to get hacked to death. So unfortunately, I'm going to have to make a switch here into, I believe, my Porygon Z, knowing that I can eat up an Air Slash and then dish out some pretty effective damage with Tri-Attack if need be. Here I'm going to switch into my Skarmory, as he did happen to pull a double into his Bisharp on the turn I went to Porygon Z, and I reveal counter. Unfortunately, he just goes for Stealth Rock instead of Knockoff. I was almost positive he would go for Knockoff there, especially considering I no longer had my Terrakion to deter it, but unfortunately, he just goes for the Stealth Rock. I reveal my Stealth Rock, my counter, that is. Unfortunately, I'm not able to get anything done with that. Now here, I get up the wish with Clefable, and I'm going to just switch into my Reuniclus, knowing that he's probably just going to go for the Iron Head, and I should be able to easily eat that up, and I am, of course, holding the Cobra Berry, so I'll be able to eat up his knockoff as well, and take out the Bisharp here with a Hidden Power Fighting. So luckily, that strategy worked out for me, but unfortunately, I'm now going to be trappable by the Gothitelle. I'm going to lose my Reuniclus here, and be still at a 5-4 disadvantage, and this Gothitelle is just being a huge thorn on my side, and I'm going to have to try to make a move here. As I go into my Porygon Z, knowing that I definitely can KO this with a Tri-Attack, I expect him to try to preserve this, to try to use it as a way of hindering my Clefable later on, as Clefable's still looking like a pretty good threat to his team, but unfortunately, he kind of sees what I'm trying to do. I wanted to get a setup, sub-Nasty Plot set up with my Porygon Z, and unfortunately I was not able to do that, but I am able to take it out with a Tri-Attack. Now here I get a crit burn against the Togekiss, which I guess I'll pause briefly here, as this was a series of 50-50s, as I very well could have gone for Substitute on that turn, and then if he went for Thunder Wave on my Substitute, I would have been able to probably take out the Togekiss with my Porygon Z with relative ease in that manner. But the fact that I went for the Tri-Attack, got the crit burn, is actually pretty big here. It's pretty helpful. I think this was definitely the easiest way for me to take out Togekiss, but the fact remains that even if I didn't get the crit on this turn, or the burn for that matter, I would have been able to revenge KO the Togekiss with my Specs Tornadus Eye, as he has very few switch-ins to the Specs Tornadus Eye at this point, especially considering the Togekiss would have taken damage. So that's the thing there. Now, he goes for the Thunder Wave on this turn, so he gets the 50-50 correct on both turns, which is really unfortunate on my end, as now I'm in a pretty tough situation, as I have to kind of hope I don't get Paraflinch to death, and of course I do. So that's unfortunate, and I'm going to lose my Porygon Z here on this turn, but the good news is that he is going to let his Togekiss pretty much go down here to the burn, as he did not even attempt to go for a Roost, knowing that I would be able to do a big chunk of damage if he did so. Now here I go for the Hurricane, and I miss, but luckily he misses the Air Slash as well, so this isn't quite the end of the world at this point, but I am going to have to go for another Hurricane here to take this out, as none of my other move options would have been able to take out the Togekiss at this range, so that's unfortunate too. But I am able to take it out, and we're at a 3-3 game. I still have a chance to win this game with my Clefable if I'm able to get it set up properly and avoid the powerful hits from Mega Medicham. He just goes for the Thunderbolt from a download Porygon 2, revealing that this is probably a more offensively geared Porygon 2, which is something I really didn't want to see, because that means it should be able to KO my Tornadus Eye in one hit with relative ease, and that's pretty scary to say the least. But here I reveal Calm Mind, as this Clefable is here to handle the Manaphy, and I should be able to do so, but unfortunately he gets a burn on the first Scald, and that is actually really, really big, because now, due to my lack of leftovers, due to him having a Gothitelle, and me having to bring a Shed Shell to combat the Gothitelle, I have a very, very ineffective Clefable, to say the least, as now it's going to be much harder for me to wall Manaphy and to wall Porygon 2, and now I'm going to basically get into some mind games as far as when he wants to try to send in his Mega Medicham to try to KO this Clefable, as that is his only way of killing it. I definitely can outlast both Manaphy and Porygon 2, but I cannot outlast Mega Medicham with this Clefable, so I have to try to predict his switch-in accurately in order to win this game. So I'll go for another Calm Mind here, as I guess that was on the turn of the Scald, and now he's going to switch into his Porygon 2, as I believe I just set up a Wish. I've set up a Wish here, which is just the safe play on my end, and I think there he was just kind of scouting for what I wanted to do whenever I was at about 50%, which is a good play on his part, as that will come into play here later. I just go for the Protect just in case he was a Psych Up variant of Porygon 2, and I really didn't want to deal with a Psych Up Porygon 2, even though I am an unaware variant. I should pause there as well. Even though I am an unaware variant, it still would be a little bit of a nuisance for my Tornadus, as I have to spam Hurricanes to win this game at this point. And here, as he switches into Medicham, I very, very well could have just gone for the Moonblast. I was so close to clicking Moonblast on this turn, but I chickened out at the last minute, just because of my tendency to resort to the more safe play. If I had gone for the Moonblast on this turn, expecting to switch into Mega Medicham, I think I would have won this game with Clefable, but unfortunately, I was not able to make the Lord play, and that's a little bit unfortunate here, and it's actually will come to play again a little bit later on. Now, here, I just go for the Protect just to kind of scout what he wants to do, kind of scouting for Poison Jab, and he makes a nice double into his Porygon 2, probably expecting me to go into my Scarm, or maybe just kind of scouting for what my response was to make Medicham. And that's a bad matchup for Skarmory, so I'm going to go straight back into my Clefable. And here, again, I could have made the Moonblast play expecting the Mega Medicham, and I believe I just go for the Wish instead. And again, I have an opportunity to try to peg the Mega Medicham on the switch-in, as this is just a series of 50-50s, and I'm getting the sour end of the deal on every single one of them. If I had clicked Moonblast on that turn, then I would have been in very good shape in this game. But unfortunately, he gives in his Mega Medicham. I force the switch into my Skarmory. He predicts that very well, and now I'm in very bad shape, as my real best option at this point is probably just to go for the Hurricane spam at the end of the game. I'll have to not miss any Hurricanes, which I do miss a Hurricane on the switch-in, which is very, very bad, as if I did hit this Hurricane and then of course hit the next one, and then if I got one piece of Confusion Hacks against the Porygon 2, I guess two pieces of Confusion Hacks against the Porygon 2, and of course hit the Hurricane against Mega Medicham, I would have won the game there. So yeah, that's a very unlikely series of events, but that was my way of winning the game at this point, unless somehow I'm able to get rid of Mega Medicham. So I go for the next Hurricane, and as you can see, it does 80%, so if I hit that Hurricane on the switch-in, this would have been a 2-hit KO right here at this point, and he goes for the Ice Beam, gets a critical hit, which did matter, even if he was a modest 252 special attack variant. The fact that he did not have a Life Orb indicates that that Ice Beam had no chance of KOing me. I believe the calc is like 80% damage maximum or something along those lines. So yeah, that mattered, and that's really unfortunate as well. So now I'm going to lose my Tornado's Eye, which was really my last opportunity to win this game. And yeah, I'm pretty sad about that. So now it's just going to be a one-man stand with Clefable. I do just go for the Moonblast, knowing he's going to try to go into Mega Medicham. I'm playing safely the entire game. I need to get one more kill to try to minimize the differential, and luckily I'm able to pull off the KO on Mega Medicham there. But now I'm so low to the point where, due to the fact that I don't have leftovers, I'm going to be taken out by this Tri-Attack plus burn damage. But if I did have leftovers, I would have been fine. So what this game comes down to is the fact that I was overly pressured by Gothitelle, and it really interrupted my team building so much to the point where I was using a team that was a little bit uncomfortable for this kind of matchup. If I had leftovers on Clefable, if I was actually able to use my Skarmory for something other than just counter killing, then I think I could have come out on top. But unfortunately, that was not the case in this game. I didn't feel like I played poorly. Cheese played well as well, and just ended up with him pulling off a 2-0 victory, and I'm proud of him for that. That was very well played on his part, and all respect goes to him for that victory. So unfortunately, we are moving to a 2-1 record. I will be looking at making some free agency swaps here in the near future, as I do, like, some of the holes on my team are starting to develop, and I want to patch those holes as soon as I can so that I have a full working roster of 11 Pokemon that will help hopefully lead me to a championship at the end of the season. So this loss will not set us back too far. It's a learning moment, and learning moments are always good, especially early in the season. It's unfortunate that this happened in a league match against probably one of the better players in the league, and a good friend of mine as well, but I do play him again later in the season, and I'll make sure to get my revenge then. So thanks for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed. This really was a phenomenal match, regardless of the outcome. So that's about all I have to say about that. So thanks for watching, guys. I will see you all in Week 4 as we take on Razor and the New York Matangs. Peace.